Not every enemy can be squashed with a single jump. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Invincible video game enemies. For this list, we are including enemies that are immune to your regular attacks and abilities. We are, however, excluding games where you don't have a means to fight back at all, so you won't find Five Nights at Freddy's here. Number 10, Set. Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. Lara's dealt with her fair share of the supernatural on her expeditions around the world, but anytime you accidentally open up the sarcophagus prison that houses an Egyptian god, you know you're in for something truly memorable.
Shall once again violate the earth.
What makes Set so interesting isn't so much that you're the cause of the problem, it's that you aren't the solution. Lara's quick to realize that she's powerless against the god of the desert, and in their final encounter is given no option but to turn tail and run right out the door, leaving Horus to clean up your mess. All's well that ends well, I guess. Number 9, Phantoms. Legend of Zelda: Phantom Hourglass. Underrated but unforgettable, these armored guardians are littered throughout the Temple of the Ocean King, harassing you at every turn. It's bad enough that Link is sent back to the start of the room if they ever get their big clunky gauntlets on you, but the fact that they also drain time off of your own invincibility just makes them a nightmare to deal with. The required touch of stealth was a nice change of pace at first for the normally stab-happy hero, but when you have to come back to the same temple over and over and over again, you're kinda stuck hoping that each visit is gonna be your last, and it's basically all because of these guys. Number 8, Baron von Blubba. Bubble Bobble. That speedy, skeletal, beluga-looking ghost will haunt the memories of those kids that just signed up for a fun, relaxing platformer. At first it seems that's exactly what you're getting, but the second you take a bit too long to finish a level, Baron von Blubba will hunt you down and make you play faster, whether you want to or not. Your bubbles may as well be non-existent against the series antagonist, and the only way to deal with him is to simply get better at finishing the stages faster. Pretty harsh. We guess the big bad guy has better things to do than wait around for you to finish each level. Come on. Number 7, Red Zingers. Donkey Kong Country 2: Diddy's Kong Quest. While the Rock-Rocks speeding back and forth, invincible under their green lights, are frustrating in their own right, we think that these annoying little bees have them beat. Their yellow cousins cause enough problems for you as you navigate around the island, but at least they're easily taken care of with a well-tossed barrel. The red variety can only be killed with TNT, and good luck finding any of that as Diddy flies around the treetops. No, the best course of action is to simply pray that your reflexes are sharp enough to avoid the spiky buggers, and do your best to avoid taking damage along the way. Number 6, The Hunter. Dead Space. What do you get when you combine all the fearsome traits of an alien species while removing its weaknesses? This biologically engineered necromorph. Up until this point, the enemies in the game are very effectively dealt with once their limbs have been blown off, but every encounter with this regenerating hunter sends Space's most badass engineer scrambling. Unfortunately for us, throwing him into stasis is the only way to keep him at bay until Isaac ultimately incinerates him. In an enemy that combines everything terrifying about the necromorphs, the worst thing about him is that he comes back in later games. Of course he does. Number 5, Zeus, God of War 2.
This path is of your choosing.
The smug king of Olympus is the kind of guy that you just hate more and more with every passing meeting. Despite you taking down the God of War in the first entry, Zeus wastes no time proving to you just how powerless you really are. Your attacks do nothing to the bearded old geezer as you limp around the stage, waiting for him to inevitably kill you. Worse, even after your entire journey through the underworld and back to Olympus, you never get the satisfaction of taking revenge on your father, who manages to escape your final battle. We still get frustrated every time we think of him getting the better of our bald, lovable, rage-filled Spartan.
Zeus, your son has returned! I bring the destruction of Olympus!
Number 4, Lisa Trevor, Resident Evil Remastered. In a series filled to the brim with disposable, forgettable enemies, it makes sense that we all remember that unique, hideously deformed 53-year-old test subject. Masked in her victim's skin, the near-immortal Lisa Trevor haunts the mansion where her mother died, bludgeoning her victims to death.
Barry!
Regenerating after taking enough damage, she doesn't care about any of your bullets, and it's only after unlocking Jessica Trevor's crypt that her monstrous daughter throws herself into the abyss. We never end up putting her out of her misery and taking revenge ourselves, but we're honestly too relieved that we didn't have to deal with her anymore to let it bother us too much. Number 3, Phanto, Super Mario Bros. 2. The real sequel to the hit Super Mario Bros. May not have come overseas due to its difficulty, but that creepy brown mask from the North American version still managed to get our heartbeats racing. Coming to life only when you pick up specific door keys, Phanto chases you relentlessly until you drop the key, get to the door, or, die. It sounds simple, but we've lost count of how many times we've had to backtrack after tossing our key off screen or into a pit in a panic. It may not be what other countries got, but we can rest easy knowing they still had to put up with this annoying little pest in his original form. Number 2, Pyramid Head, Silent Hill 2. You know right from the get-go when our triangle-headed friend is dragging a body behind him that you're in for a rough day. There are hundreds of reasons to remember this giant masked executioner, and they're all equally terrifying. He shrugs off bullets, stalks James throughout the town of Silent Hill, and in a series known for its creepy monsters, he's the biggest, baddest one of them all. And if you still had hope that you could take this guy down after all that, we're pretty sure being stuck in a room with him, pointlessly shooting for what feels like hours, will crush that hope. At least we can be thankful that there's only one of them, right? Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Xenomorph, Alien Isolation. This scary extraterrestrial checks all the boxes. Pretty much ignoring everything in your arsenal, its unending desire to hunt you down and kill you makes this baddie impossible to forget. Popping in at inopportune times with a tendency to kill you when you least expect it, the Xenomorph is in that rare class of enemies that you just want nothing to do with. Your only solution to this very toothy problem? Hurl it into the vacuum of space and leave it there forever, just like they did in the movies. We'd normally say that it's a little excessive, but this guy deserves it. Amanda Ripley may be trapped in space, but our neighbors most definitely heard us scream every time he came onto our screens. Do you agree with our list?
Take a piece of the action.
Know of any memorable Invincible enemies that we forgot? For more exciting top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to Watch Mojo.
You will pay for this, Zeus. Be certain of that.